And now we'll talk about how to study the wisdom of Kabbalah. The first wise, first sage in the wisdom of Kabbalah who spoke about it methodically was Abraham. There were Kabbalists before him, but he is the first to write down and leave to us some of his writings. Kabbalists attain the upper reality and all of reality, including our reality. In other words, both upper roots and the phenomena that emanate from them in our reality, and they feel it as one, and they explain to us about everything that they feel. They start to feel from the smallest feeling in the roots of reality, what exists beyond what we see, and what we feel, how we feel ourselves and everything around us. They start from the smallest feeling, and they go to the deepest feeling that includes everything there is, everything that came out of the Creator, and is called the created being, which includes all the upper worlds in our world, all the created beings in every world, including our world, the ways of the upper government, and all the corrections and the development until the end of all the states. But they feel those states, they feel this reality gradually from the state of the normal person like us, where he feels only what he sees, what's around him, what he perceives, and he thinks accordingly about where I am. When he even begins to think about that, that in itself is not so simple, until he is able to penetrate this picture and reach the forces behind this picture and discover them. And after he penetrates reality, he comes to a state where he can see all of it and begins to think of it as a mechanism, a homogeneous system called reality. And they don't speak normally about the path, how they attain it, how they investigate it and reach all kinds of results, like scientists in this world. What do I care about a scientist who discovered a medicine or something good and how he investigated it and researched it for decades, and he would look for it and make mistakes and all the work he put in, the exertion. No, ultimately he explains what he came to and what he attained and what he can share with me and benefit my life. And that's how Kabbalists are. They typically don't explain to us. There is a part of them in Kabbalah that explains, but typically they explain the picture that they attain, the end picture, when they see all reality from above. And because eventually they come to a state where they know the Creator, the quality of bestowal, who is He, then they begin their story about this adventure, about this path to reveal reality, not from below up, not from themselves, how they started and how they developed and reached this general vision of everything. Rather, they start from the Creator specifically, from this force who decided to create reality, and how from the thought of creation he started to move into actions, into the application and implementation of that reality. That's where they start. And that's how we are going to study it. As it's written in Etz Chaim by the Ari, as Baal Salam explains to us in their preface to the Wisdom of Kabbalah or in the study of the 10 Sfirot. All the Kabbalists, and by the way, you can open additional books as well. It's a cover. There are many books, and they all If they speak methodically, they all start from the Creator. Because if we learn about our root, how creation started, with which desire, which intention, the end of the action is in the initial thought, where the final form exists from the very beginning as the goal and purpose, and that final form determines what will emanate in each and every stage. If we learn about this initial thought, it will help us understand this life and not make any mistakes and use each and every state in creation the way the Creator sees them, and then advance correctly, come out of the state of deficiency each time to a state of goodness, wholeness. Let's start with the thought of creation. The thought of creation is the thought of the Creator to create the created being, the creature, in order to benefit him. We call the thought of creation light, or Bchinat Shoresh, root, which is the root of all of reality. Before the thought of creation, Kabbalists tell us there is this concept called Atzmuto, his essence. This concept implies that he is unattainable. We cannot attain him. It's closed and